All right. Now we're going to continue in the exposition of benefits. This is the immediate knowledge. That is the knowledge that's even more urgent than all of the obligatory knowledge. And just to try to make it easier, I'm going to not necessarily read it word by word. So after the introduction, we are now starting with the chapter of convictions. Convictions means what you believe. Now, let's take a moment to understand a few words, important words. This word conviction here, that's English word. What are we taking that from in Arabic? In Arabic, it's going to be from the word aqidah. Aqidah, that means the conviction, the belief you hold in your heart. Okay. So someone might have proper conviction or improper conviction. Yani aqidah sahiha, correct conviction, or aqidah fasida, kufriya, a corrupt conviction, a blasphemous conviction. There's some other words too that are close to this, like iman. Iman is faith or belief. The iman, the way we use it, is special for Muslims. I personally try not to use the word belief for kafir, but sometimes it slips out for me. I'll say he has conviction of kufr. I might say he has a bad belief or kufr belief, but I don't mean if I say belief for kafir, the English word belief for kafir, I don't mean the Arabic word iman. The iman is for the Muslim. The Muslim is the mu'min, the believer, the one who has iman, or the faithful one. A mu'taqid is someone who has a conviction about something. A mu'min is someone who has iman. And there's another word, which is tawheed. Tawheed means monotheism. And someone might say belief for the word tawheed, but really means monotheism. Making God one. Deeming God one. Okay. So, chapter of convictions, things that we believe in. Section, the greatest matters of Islam are 5. You know those 5. They came in the hadith of Al-Bukhari. Buni al-Islamu ala khams. Islam was built on 5. That means the greatest matters in Islam are 5. And does not mean only 5. That's why we put here in the translation, greatest. Because there's other things too. These are the most important. The Shahada. We mean both Shahadas. The first one and the second one together. Both of them, the 2 Shahadas, which are the Shahada. Those 2 Shahadas are the Shahada. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. That's minimum. You could say, Ashhadu alla ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. That's more. It's better too. So to add ashhadu. And there's other things you could say close to that. So the first one is the shahada, the first of the 5. You say ashhadu, it means I know, I believe, and I confess 3 things. You might say, I thought ashhadu means I testify. Or, I thought ashhadu means I bear witness. I would say to you, that's just the standard translation. But as for the meaning of ashhadu in Arabic, explaining the Arabic word in Arabic, then ashhadu means a'lamu wa a'taqidu wa a'tarif. All of that. I know and I have as a conviction and I admit Allah ilaha illallah, that no one is God but Allah. Wahdahu la sharika lah, alone without a partner. You know you don't need that part just to be a believer. You don't have to add Wahdahu la sharika lah. and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the first shahada, the first one is the shahada, first of the five. Two, performing the prayer. Let's say here, observing prayer, meaning performing it constantly. So you know what that means: praying all your prayers on time, properly, not just apparently, outwardly. It looks like you prayed and you don't really care. If someone were to tell you that that was invalid, you'd say, Allah knows my intention, because you don't really care. No. Performing it consistently, properly, caring. Giving zakat, meaning paying it. Fasting the month of Ramadan and seeking out the house. Why is translated like that? That's being very literal. Yani hajj. The meaning of hajj in Arabic language is qasd. Seeking, looking, targeting something, going after it, or wanting. So the hajjul bayt is seeking out the house, going on a mission to the Kaaba, a religious mission, to do worships there in that area. For whoever can make his way there, he has the ability to do so. Okay, you know all of those, insha'Allah ta'ala. Let's see some interesting things here. So as for the first one, this shahada must be in your heart constantly. You don't have to say it all the time. You say it one time to be a Muslim if you were not born as Muslim, or else you're going to say it in your prayer, or at least one time after reaching puberty. But its meaning is going to be in your heart always. You don't forget it. But as for the prayer, you're going to do that 5 times per day. Not all the time. Shahada, you're basically doing it all the time with the meaning of believing it all the time, holding it close in heart, in mind, all the time. No one is God but Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Little time goes past without you remembering this. You're not, and thank Allah that He didn't make you different from that. MashaAllah. Observing the prayer is not that much, it's 5 times in a day. Giving the zakat is not that much, but depends on what kind of money you have. You might be paying zakat once a year, for example, or maybe more. Depending on the rules, we'll see, inshallah. Fasting the month of Ramadan, that's once per year, for sure. Seeking out the house, going on the mission, the religious mission to the Kaaba, that's once in a lifetime. Subhanallah. And what else we have here? The testimony, this shahada, it's obligatory. Yes, okay. The prayer, that's obligatory. There's sunnah prayer too. Sunnah prayer with the name of salah. Salat, the salat, there's sunnah salat, there's obligatory salat. Siyam, fasting, there's sunnah siyam, obligatory siyam. Hajj, there's sunnah hajj and obligatory hajj. Zakat, talk about the name zakat, there's obligatory zakat. Sunnah zakat, there's charity, which you don't call it zakat though. Sadaqah, yeah, you can give sadaqah. That's not, you're not going to call that zakat. Tayyib. Inshallah is clear. The greatest matters of faith are 6. From the hadith of Jibreel. Again, greatest matters. That means not all of the matters of Islam, but the greatest. Greatest here means most important, most significant. The belief in Allah, the belief in His angels. Yani, correct one. Correct belief in God, not just saying the word. Having correct conviction about God and in His angels and His books and His messengers and the last day and destiny. Believing in the angels properly. not males or females, created from light. They all have wings. They do jobs. And they are impeccable from all sins. Belief in his books. He revealed books to some prophets, not all of them. More is going to come for that. Belief in his messengers, his prophets and messengers, all of those whom he sent. Belief in the last day, belief in the afterlife, which really makes a lot of sense. SubhanAllah. I was giving a lesson to someone, and a youngster embraced Islam. When I went to go give the lesson, they introduced me to a new Muslim, young man who embraced Islam. So we all had a lesson. I gave the lesson for him since he was new. We usually have lessons, me and those people. So I was telling him all the basic things. And he's listening and it's fine, no problem. Then when I told him, and we have to believe there's afterlife and judgment day, we're going to come back to life and be judged for our deeds, like something clicked for him, which that's a good thing because it makes sense. Makes sense. If it's not there, it's missing. Something doesn't make sense. If there was no judgment day, something doesn't make sense, actually. What's going to be the result? The result then is that means life is meaningless if there's no judgment day. Not only means life is meaningless, but in fact, if there's no judgment day, it means all the worst people have led the best lives. How's that? Because all the worst people, they did all of what they wanted to do in the dunya. Because all the bad things they did, they enjoyed it. They enjoyed themselves. They did all horrible things they wanted to do. And then they died and that was it. And other people criticizing them, telling them how bad they are, while they're holding back for really no reason, just to say you're moral, and then you're going to die and that's it. But actually, no, it's the other way, because there's a judgment day. We have to believe in that. We'll see more about it, inshallah. And belief in destiny or predestination. That means believing that everything happens by Allah's management, good or evil. Basically means, when we talk about qadar, destiny, it means everything comes out in the sequence, in the order that Allah willed in eternity for it to come out. And in the measure that Allah gave it. How big, how small, how fast, how slow, how dark, how light, how good, how bad. The exact measure of everything that came out. And every consequence, every cause, and every effect. In the order that it comes out into the unending future. That's qadar. That's our belief in qadar. And whatever Allah willed to be shall be, and whatever He did not will to be shall not be. Section. The meaning of La ilaha illallah. No one is God except Allah. It means no one has the power to create except Allah. No one has the power to create except Allah. That's one way to explain it. La ilaha illallah. If you explain it this way, yani, you might say, huh? I thought it means no one is God but Allah. Yeah, that's true. And I'm going to make this a small g here. But when you say it means no one has the power to create, then what you're saying is that the ilah, God, is the only one who has the power to create. It's like you're saying God is defined as the one who has the power to create. If you don't have the power to create, then you're not God. That's how we know, actually, that nobody can create anything except Allah. Because if anybody could actually really create something, then He would be God, who would deserve worship. Like some person who has wrong convictions who would say to you, "No, I create my own deeds. Look, I I'm the one who turns my steering wheel. I'm the one who pushes the gas pedal down with my foot, and all of that. I do it myself." You could say to him, if it were true that you were creating, if it were true that you were creating, then this would mean that you deserve to be worshipped. Because God is the one who creates. And the one who creates is the one who deserves to be worshipped. And if somebody denies what I just told you, it means he's going to deny to you that the one who creates is the one who should be worshipped. So you can say it in another way too. God is the one who deserves to be worshipped. You can say La ilaha illallah means no one deserves to be worshipped except Allah. You can say either way. But out of those two, which one is better way? The first one. That no one is God except Allah means no one has the power to create except Allah. So, everything in the skies and above the skies and what is on the earth and below the earth and what is in the skies and on earth, only Allah created it. What's that? All this in the skies. Clouds, the stars, the sun and the moon. And what's above the skies? Paradise. Where's paradise? Al-Jannah, above the sky. And everything on the earth and below the earth. Where's hell? Hell is below the lowest earth. And what's in the skies and in the earth, only Allah created them. This statement right here makes me want to now talk to you about something. Something that's not really the most important thing to talk about. Something that's not the most important thing to talk about, but it is important. And maybe people don't talk about it a lot, so I don't want to lose the opportunity for you. What is our belief as Muslims about the skies, the earth and the skies, or if you want, the universe? Is it like they teach in the schools and the universities? What do they teach? They teach that the earth is basically a ball, and it's a ball that, and amongst other balls, in a big vast blackness, a big vast black void that they call space. All these balls, they call them planets, are circling around the sun. This is what they say. Is it like that? No, it's not like that. Well, how is it? Allah tells us in the Quran that the sky is over the earth. Yeah, okay. So what? So it means right there that what those people teach in their schools to all the people, this is against the religion. Because they don't believe that the sky is over the earth. When I say, how they don't believe the sky is over the earth? Because what they actually believe is that the earth is enclosed in a bubble. They call it atmosphere. So they believe that the earth is enclosed in a bubble, and that this earth enclosed in a bubble is spinning around and then going around the sun while it's spinning. So it goes like that, just sun, and then goes around like that. So where is the sky according to that? There's no sky according to that. So they deny the sky. What's the sky we believe in? There's something that's mentioned in the Quran and in the hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's called sama. Sama means sky. So this sama, it is above the earth, the lowest one. There's more than one. The lowest one is above the earth. So here's the earth, and the sky is over the earth. And there's nothing holding it up, does not have pillars, does not have cable to hang from, just stays there over the earth. 500-year distance between the earth and the sky. And there's 7 skies in total. So the one we see, The blue that we see is the underside of a large object called Samat, the sky. And the sun and the moon and the stars are all between. They're between the earth and the sky. So there's earth, there's sky. Between the earth and the sky, there's stars, moon, sun, and the earth doesn't move anywhere, stays still. And the sky also stays still, does not move anywhere. And the sun and the moon and the day and the night, this is what's in the Quran. The sun and the moon and the day and the night, that's four things. So the daytime is different from the sun. Sun is one thing, daytime something else. That's four different things. They move. The earth is still, the sky is still, and sun and moon and night and day are moving. I didn't learn that they go around the earth. It's not what I learned. I just learned that they move. Allah says about those four things in more than one place in the Quran, وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. Those four are all in an orbit, swimming. They're all swimming in their own pathways. And I can say more there. Well, I don't want to say more, but if you have any questions, you can ask me, inshallah. So, but it is important to mention this case here because you don't want to have wrong belief about something. You said, does that mean day is possible without the sun? Yes. Yani, according to saying that daylight is different from sunlight. That daylight is different from sunlight. Saying, according to this saying, then yes. It is important to mention these things though, because you don't want to have a wrong conviction. You don't want to have what? Aqidah fasida, corrupt conviction. Have wrong belief about something. If there's anything you want to be perfect, for sure, it's going to be your aqidah, your conviction about anything and everything. Don't want to have wrong belief. So, Allah brought all of that into existence from non-existence. Non-existence means nothingness. Existence means being. He made everything come into being from nothing, from nothingness, with no tools and no effort. May He be glorified, whether it were an entity or a deed, something that fills a space, or some action like moving, talking, blinking, smelling. He created all of that. Whether it were a mass or a body or an attribute like color or smell or shape, or He created all of that. Motion or stillness. Most of the things that Allah created are still. If you didn't, right? If you didn't notice. Most of the things that Allah created are still. He created the stillness in those things. And a lot of the things that Allah created move. He created the motion in those moving things. Or a thought that just crossed your mind. Spontaneous thought. Any random idea. Allah created that. Or a contemplation means you on purpose thought about something. Allah created that. Or management. You took care of something. You arranged it. You organized it. Allah created all of that. So no one deserves to be worshipped but Allah. And what's the worship? The worship is the ultimate humbleness, the maximum humbleness, maximum. For example, you might be humble to your parent. You might be humble to your grandparent or your elders. You might be humble to your commanding officer. He's your soldier, or your boss, or your husband, or your wife, or someone. or the scholar. That's a humbleness. This humbleness that I'm talking about right now, for your parent, for your commanding officer, this humbleness is like just a kitty cat. Kitty cat in the house. A little fluffy kitty cat, this one. Well, worship is a humbleness, but this one's like lion, a monster lion. Not kitty cat. Very, very powerful thing here. This worship is extreme. So if you took your little fluffy kitty cat and Allah made him turn into the most powerful thing, then he's going to turn into a lion, for example, or turn into a tiger, the strongest ones. So that's how worship is compared to just humbleness. So you can get an idea. What you know what humbleness is, but can you get your fingers actually on what's worship? Worship is a kind of humbleness. It's the most elite. It's the top, highest level of that. No one deserves the worship except Allah. He created the world in its entirety, all of the world. That means universe here. World here means universe. But universe here does not mean endless blackness for millions and millions, billions of light years, they say. And there's galaxies, cosmos. This is not what's meant by universe here or world. It means whatever Allah really created, not just what scientists claim they saw on the telescope or what people see in science fiction movie they think is real. He created the whole world, the whole universe, the upper and the lower. So what's the upper universe? That means the heavens, seven skies. And what's above that? Paradise and the Arsh and the Kursi and the guarded tablet. That's all part of the upper world. The lower world starts with the earth that we're on. This is the highest earth. And then there's seven earths, each one under the other. And under the seventh earth is hell. Allah created all of that. And the Arsh and the Kursi, are two enormous objects that Allah created in the upper world. The Arsh is the bigger one. It's the ceiling of paradise too. And the Kursi is bigger than all the heavens and earth. Kursi is wider than all heavens and earth. So look, this sky we see up above us. It goes as far as your eye can see. Yani, your eye cannot see as far as it goes. Your vision will stop, and that sky is still going to be going on. So why? That's one sky. And there's six more. If you took all those seven skies, they are one above the other, but put them next to each other, and the earth too, the Kursi is still going to be wider than all of that. That's Kursi. And the Arsh is wider than the Kursi. The Arsh is the biggest thing that Allah created. And it's the ceiling of paradise. Allah created that. And the skies and the earth. Nothing moves but by His will. Not even a speck. Speck means just a little dot of something. Maybe you'd be walking down the street one day and you just see some dirt blow. Then, because you're a faithful Muslim, you're going to say, Subhanallah. Just looks like nothing for anybody though. It's just dirt blowing on the ground. But Muslim who think about Allah as the creator of everything, he sees the dirt blowing and says, wow. No speck moves except by his will, and not a leaf falls except that he knows about it. Any leaf that fell, Allah knows about it. Yes. And everything that happens in this world is already written in a tablet that Allah created. It's called Al-Lawhul Mahfuz, the guarded tablet. That tablet was created before Allah created the heavens and the earth. And he created a pen also, and he made the pen write on the tablet. And the pen wrote on the tablet until it wrote everything that's going to happen in the world. Then, when it finished writing, everything started happening 50,000 years later. 50,000 years after the pen finished writing, heavens and earth started happening by God's power. He encompassed everything by his knowledge. Yeah, he knows everything. He knows the count of everything. He knows every single count of everything. So next time you're next to the forest, just look at all leaves. There's no way you'll be able to count those leaves. Allah knows every single one of them, and the side of both of them, each side of every one of them. I mean, and what's on one side of each leaf, what's on one side of the other leaf. Allah knows if there's ant on there or something, or maybe there's a caterpillar turning to butterfly somewhere. Allah knows all of that. He knows the count of all things. How many atoms is your body made of? He knows all the atoms that make up your body. He is alive. That means he has an attribute called life. Life without a body or a soul. And he is Qayyum. Qayyum means, it could mean everlasting, not ending. Or it could mean independent, doesn't need anything. Or it could mean manager of everything. That means controller of everything. He is not taken by somnolence or sleep. Yani, he doesn't get drowsy. Somnolence. You could say drowsiness if you want. That's easier word. Yeah, drowsiness. He is not taken by drowsiness or sleep. Drowsiness means when you start to doze. You're not asleep yet. You can still hear what's going on around you. This doesn't happen to him, and therefore, if that doesn't happen to him, for sure, sleep doesn't happen to him. Because sleep is deeper than drowsiness. He does whatever he wills. He has power over whatever he willed. He owns everything. He doesn't need anything. And he makes as a rule whatever he willed. If he makes something halal, it's halal. If he makes something haram, then it's haram. Not from our minds. It's not a condition. Our ability to understand a rule is not a condition for the rule. Rather, it's going to be a rule because God made it a rule. That's it. Here's a great example for you. You heard about that Abraham was commanded to sacrifice his son, right? Yes. So was that bad? Yani, because if one of us were to take our son and then take him somewhere and cut his throat, you'd think it's a bad thing. Yani, you're not going to do it. And it's a horrible idea. So why, how can that be? If I can say that now, why it doesn't apply to Abraham? It's not a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing. How? Because God commanded him to. That's it. That's it. So whatever rule he commanded, then that's it. Did somebody give Eve away in marriage to Adam? Did she have a father? And did they have two witnesses who gave her away to Adam? No. How she became his wife? Because God ruled it. That's it. Then she's his wife. That's it. So the ruling is his, and creating is his. And he has the names of perfection. All of his names are names that have the meaning of perfection. None of his names have meaning of defect. There is no preventer for there is no preventer of what he decreed. Whatever he will to be will be, no one can stop it. And he does whatever he wills. And he doesn't hope to get any reward. And he is not afraid of any punishment. He doesn't fear any repercussions about anything. And there is no right on him that is binding. I mean, he's not obligated to do anything. God doesn't have any duty. It is not God's duty to do anything. And any punishment from him is just, is fair. And he is not questioned about what he does. They will be questioned. He's not questioned about what he does. They will be questioned. That's important there. Because we say fundamentally you cannot compare Allah to the creations. You can't compare Allah to the creations. So you might say, yeah, that's clear. Allah is not a body. He doesn't have a shape or a form. Can't compare him to the creations. That's true. But even goes further. Also in his doings, you cannot compare him. Not just the attribute of his self, but his doings too. What would be an indication that someone compares Allah to the creations? When he says, how can Allah punish someone for a sin that he willed for that person to do? This question, when somebody is objecting, when someone has an issue, so he raised this question, means he thought about it. And in his mind says, wait, doesn't make sense. Hold on. He willed for us to do something and then punishes us for what he willed for us to do? Yeah. So someone might say, doesn't make any sense. Why does it make sense to him? Because he compared the creator to the creations. It's like he's saying, but if God acts like us, then it doesn't work. So you say to him, God doesn't act like a creature. He does whatever he wills. He will punish you for what he willed for you to do. Because he willed for you to choose to do it. He willed for you to choose to do it. So you're going to be accountable. He existed before the creation. Yes. Eternally, has no beginning. So he has no before or after. And no above or below. And no right and no left. No front and no back. Meaning 6 directions do not pertain to him. Those are the 6 directions. Memorize those too. So Allah Ta'ala, the 6 directions do not pertain to him. And it is not said, when was he? Because that would mean he has a beginning. Or where was he? That would mean he was somewhere. He was in a place somewhere. Or how is he? This would mean he's like something. How is he? This would mean he's like something. Because if something is not like anything, then there's no way to say how it is. And he existed and there was no place. Because he created places. Because he created everything. He created everything that's not himself. He didn't create himself. He existed with no beginning. The exalted one. Subhanallah. Sometimes when I think about what it means to say that Allah exists without a beginning, it humbles me. The one who didn't need anyone to make him exist. He was always existing. Subhanallah. Exalted is he. He existed and there was no place. He created the creations. And he willed for the existence of time. What's time? Time is comparison of events. It means, for example, if I snap my finger and then I snap it again. So the measure between those 2 snaps, that's called time. The first snap was an event and the second snap is an event too. Time is the comparison of events. Yani time is measured by events. So he's not bound by time. He's not specified with a place. And his managing one thing does not distract him from another thing. Why not? Because he's not a body. Because he manages things without a body. What does that mean? That means when you do something by body, then you're going to be subject to being distracted. Because you're going to be, for example, with your body steering your car and also trying to look at your phone. So that's called being distracted. That's why I have to go look this way, and then look this way, and then look this way. Keep looking back and forth. You cannot focus on both of them at the same time. Not fully, Yani. Why? Yani, the reason for that is because you work with a body. You are a body. And so you can only manage so much at once with your two hands and your 10 fingers and one head. But Allah is not a body, so He manages everything all at once without any distraction. Everything in upper world, everything in the lower world. He's not specified in the mind. And you cannot determine Allah in your mind, His reality. You cannot. And He's not envisioned in the self. You cannot imagine Him. And He doesn't take shape. He doesn't take shape in your imagination. And whatever you can imagine, He's different from that, and nothing is whatsoever like Him. And He hears and He sees. Nothing is like Him, and He hears and He sees. Nothing is like Him means He's not big, He's not small, He's not close, He's not far, etc. Although nothing is like Him, He hears and He sees. He hears without ears, and He sees without eyes, and therefore speaks without sounds and languages and words. And He knows without a heart, and without a brain, and without a teacher. And we should probably stop there. And then we can start the next topic here from the top. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك